Hey photographer, Jessica Whitaker here. I teach to beginner photographers here on YouTube on how to start and grow a sustainable photography business. And in this video, I am going to be going over a couple of questions to ask your client before moving forward with the shoot. Most of the answers to these questions would be incorporated into your photography contract, but I think it's really important to ask and answer up front so your client knows exactly what to expect of you. And for easy access, I will also have a written out version of this checklist so that you can reference it whenever you need, link down below and totally free. Before we get into the checklist, I do want to thank my sponsor, Squarespace, for making this free photography video possible.
A photo speaks 1,000 words, but a polished and professional portfolio can get us those $1,000 clients. Enter Squarespace, the all-in-one platform for websites and domains. Photographers, it's time to be done settling for slow-loading websites with tedious plugins. I trust Squarespace's all-in-one platform to keep me booked and busy. Pick from one of their dozens of contemporary drag-and-drop layouts, host your custom domain and email with them, and even conduct successful email campaigns. Everything you need to run a successful photography business under their umbrella and at your fingertips. You can head to squarespace.com to begin your free trial, and when you are ready to launch your beautiful professional website, you can go to squarespace.com/Jessica Whitaker to get 10% off of your first purchase of a website or a domain.
With this checklist, you can choose to either incorporate it into a welcome guide that your clients get or into your pricing PDF. That's how I have chosen to have these questions answered, or at least the majority of them. I have a little FAQ on my booking page. You could also just have it written out in an email. However you'd like to distribute the information, but I think that having it actually up front on your website or in the welcome guide is going to be the best way to go about it, so that if some of these things don't align with a potential client, then you don't have to spend the time back and forth in email with them, only for them to decide not to book with you. Again, I'll have the written out version down below. First up on the checklist is letting them know how long the session itself is going to last for. This serves two purposes. Number one, it's a courtesy to them so that they can block out an appropriate amount of time in their day. Maybe it's an engagement session and they're going to go on a date afterwards. And number two is so that it does not come as a surprise in the contract. However long you decide to spend on your sessions, there's no right or wrong. It's all going to be personal preference. I just want to be able to answer that question as a courtesy, and so I really recommend having that information up front. In a similar vein, you're also going to want to let your clients know how long it's going to take for you to process the images. This is definitely something that is also included in your photography contract, but having the information answered up front can give them some peace of mind. Also, let them know exactly how they're going to receive the file. So if you do a platform like Pixieset or PicTime, let them know that that will be how you'll be delivering the files, and that will be gallery style. If you are going to deliver them on WeTransfer, let them know as well. And even adding the steps for downloading is a great way to craft a little bit more out of your customer experience. Number three is if you offer prints. Whether you do or don't, no worries. In the beginning of my photography business, to my surprise, I had a handful of people asking me if they will get prints or if I provide prints. And at the time, I did not. And that question would usually come after the photo shoot. And I felt like I was disappointing them when I told them that no, I don't provide prints. And even though my website doesn't have any of that information, I still felt like I was letting them down. If you are interested in offering prints, but you don't know where to begin, you can bridge the gap by using a platform like PicTime. That's how I have been delivering my images over the past year. Before, I was using WeTransfer. Both are fantastic options. But what's cool about PicTime is that you can actually sell prints on the site. That could be an option for you without having to go full in-person sales. Number four is quite controversial, I found. I actually made a whole video about this topic and it was quite divided. So I want you to let your client know if you are going to be providing them with the raw, unedited files. Generally speaking, most photographers who offer wedding photography, engagement, portrait, any kind of milestone photography for personal use do not offer raw files, myself included. Even if it's stated clearly in your contract that you do not provide the raw files, or you do for a fee, I believe it's vital to communicate this information upfront. The raw files are your property. It's up to you if you want to provide them, but just remember that they are a blank canvas that you use to achieve a final product that expresses your artistic vision, and it completes the service that they're paying you to provide them with. Definitely check out my video and the script on how to respond when a client asks for the raw files and you are not wanting to provide them with it. Number 5, communication boundaries. You should let them know how you prefer to be contacted. Do you want to keep it an email up until the session? Are you going to provide them with your phone number at a certain point? For me, I send them my phone number a couple of days before the session, and I let them know that I will be doing so. I have a video covering this topic on why I do not text with clients even more in depth and how I think it can be a potential danger for your business. If you're interested, click the iCard above to watch. Number 6 is in a similar vein. You're going to want to communicate with your client to the exact spot that you are going to meet up with them at. So for example, there's Rattlesnake Lake, which is a beautiful park, and it is quite big. There's a lot of different parking lots, and there's no cell service once you get up on top of the mountain to the lake. So I might send a pin and then also a description of a landmark, like a bathroom, and there's even signs pointing to the bathroom. That way, if and when we lose cell service, they're still taken care of. Sometimes I'll even take a video on my iPhone and send it to them if it's a place that I shoot at quite often, if the parking situation is a bit confusing. Doing all of this also makes your client feel like they are taken care of that much more. I have a bonus tip for you, but before I share it, I want to invite you to my free photography Facebook group. It's called Build and Bloom. This is where you can ask specific questions about your photography business. So if you need help navigating a difficult client situation, drafting an email back to them, Build and Bloom is the perfect place to ask. If you just redid your Squarespace website and you want an extra set of eyes on it, Build and Bloom is the place to ask. It's free, it's kind, it's encouraging, it's inclusive. Build and Bloom on Facebook groups. I'll also have it linked down below. Now, my bonus tip. Depending on your location, you could let your client know where they should get changed at. So Central Park South is one of my most popular locations, and I have a couple public bathrooms that are nice and clean and spacious that my clients will change at. If your clients are driving, then will they change in the car? Will you have a pop-up tent? I actually just ordered one on Amazon. I can't believe it took me so long to get it. Super affordable. I'll have it linked down below, and that can be a great solution, especially if they're shooting multiple looks and you don't have access to a clean public bathroom. With all this being said, most of these things will be incorporated into your photography contract, but it can be easy for clients to overlook or forget it. If you're looking for reliable, lawyer-drafted photography contracts, I will have my best resource linked down below, as well as a free checklist on 5 things to include in your photography contract. We're almost done, but just remember that if you want to grab the written format of this checklist, I will have it linked down below for free for easy access for you. Be sure to hit subscribe so you're the first to know when new free tutorials for your photography business come out. If you're looking to join a kind and encouraging, inclusive photography community, join Build and Bloom over on Facebook groups, and I will see you over in my next photography video. Click right here to watch and to learn. I'll see you there.